So Ikemoto's latest interview has just dropped, and it actually confirms who really suffered the most when it comes to omnipotence. Everything that happened post-Omnipotence and the changes that it occurred, Ikemoto in this latest interview, and I'm so thankful that this interview dropped, giving us more content to talk about before the next chapter ends up coming out in September. But Ikemoto answers a lot of questions, and it really gives us more of a deep dive on what exactly happened, and it's a lot more horrifying than I personally thought. But let's start off the interview in chronological order, as there are multiple answers that we have to go through alongside some side information that we do end up learning. So the first question that Ikemoto is asked is this: just as Jiraiya was called the pervy sage, does Kashin Koji have that tendency as well? He answers, actually he does. While Jiraiya was an open, extreme pervert, Kashin Koji is actually a closed pervert, so he doesn't show it outwardly. As long as somebody is nearby, he probably won't reveal that side of himself. Even when he is alone, Ada's Sharingan exists in this world, so he should still remain wary of it and avoid letting his true nature slip. And you see, this is probably one of the biggest reasons why you really can't be caught lacking in the Boruto universe, because we have a girl like Ada who has this crazy stalking ability, and even if she's not trying to do that on purpose, just because of who Kashin Koji is and the importance he has in the series right now, Ada may have had some thoughts in the past. So let me go check out what he's doing or what he did in the past. And you simply can't do anything suspicious. You can't do anything because you know that Ada eventually could figure it out, and it could mess up the entire perception Ada has of him. So it is true that Kashin Koji has to be very, very quiet with his Jiraiya tendencies, but it's very cool. So it means that we really have a lot of aspects of Jiraiya's character in Kashin Koji, but he's more closeted, a more reserved, closed version of Jiraiya, and that's pretty cool to see. Now the next question is, please tell us your favorite male character and female character, Ikemoto sensei. The answer that he gives is this: sorry, this doesn't really answer the question, but for now it's a secret. I don't want the readers to be unnecessarily biased, and my opinion of the characters often change depending on how the story develops at any given time. If there is an opportunity after the series is finished, it might be interesting to reveal my final personal ranking. Since that alone isn't much of an answer, the character I find most difficult to draw lately are Kawaki and Chocho. Conversely, the easiest for me to draw are middle-aged and elderly men. So this is Ikemoto essentially not telling us any answers, but maybe is he hinting towards Kawaki and potentially Chocho being his favorite characters? He doesn't want us to know, but he gave us a hint to those who can see behind deception, as a true ninja would be. So maybe this is him telling us Kawaki and Chocho are his favorite characters. I would think so, maybe, because like Chocho is a very different character to draw. She has a very unique style and unique look. And Kawaki, maybe Ikemoto really likes the writing that he has going on with Kawaki, or maybe I'm looking into this a little bit too deep, but this is a cool answer that is given. Now the next question is actually pretty important, as it reveals exactly what the title of this video is about, omnipotence. And the question that he was asked is this: after omnipotence, what did the people around Sarada think of her words and actions? And also, I'd like to know in detail how Sarada spent those 3 years. This is the answer that Ikemoto gives us. Sumire, who likewise escaped the effects of omnipotence, deliberately tried to avoid conspicuous words and actions, but Sarada held nothing back and continued telling people the truth exactly as it was. On top of that, with her father Sasuke having left the village together with Boruto, she must have faced extremely harsh treatment from those around her. There were probably things like graffitis on the wall of her house and slander directed at her. To begin with, even before the omnipotence incident, there were already certain number of people who thought poorly of Sasuke. Her mother Sakura must have gone through a difficult time as well, but like Sasuke, she continued to stand by Sarada. And this is very, very important and intriguing to see, because Just like Momoshiki said in the past, the people who are really hurt by omnipotence are those that are not affected by it. And this is the reality that Sarada truly ended up living in. The fact that we have people that actually come to her house and paint graffitis, paint slander around the crib. And this is like, it's something I personally never imagined to be the case, especially for her to have. And you have to add on the fact that this is Sasuke's second time going rogue. And especially for the village, a lot of people didn't want Sasuke back because of the atrocious acts that he had done in the past, siding with somebody like Orochimaru, and he had killed the third Hokage. So with that hate already accumulated, it makes quite a bit of sense why a lot of people ended up hating on Sarada. And this is personally something that I had in my mind for quite some time, and I saw it being hinted towards. We saw the fact that in recent chapters, when Sarada and Sakura were talking, we have a Sakura who tells us that she's used to people hating on her, just hinting at the fact that her family is consistently being hated now, just like it was hated on in the past because of Sasuke. And even during the Code arc, people did not respect Sasuke at all. Sasuke was ordered to go and look around for Coach claw marks, and when he was simply doing his job, you can see how the Leaf Police Force looks at Sasuke. They don't want to follow his orders, they don't even want to be next to him, they're completely angry just being around Sasuke, and it just shows the consequences of his actions, the atonement that he strived for. But not everybody is necessarily going to still forgive you for the actions that took place, and that's a path that Sasuke simply accepted. And to see Sarada go through things that are very similar is very intriguing, especially due to the fact that it's almost like Naruto in the aspect, how Naruto was hated on due to things that were out of his control. Sarada is hated on due to things that are simply out of her control, and that's just the reality that she has to live by. But yet Sarada still didn't hold anything back. Just like Momoshiki said, she was the one that suffered the most because she wasn't affected by omnipotence, but yet she continued. And it is very well possible that we do end up seeing in the anime that Sarada was a Chunin, but in the first few chapters of the manga Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, we hear that she is a Genin. It is very well possible that they ended up stripping her of her Chunin rights and then brought her back to a Genin, especially with what the next question ends up telling us. Because the next question is this: how did Himawari come to be trained by 3 members of Inojin? This is the answer that Ikemoto gives us. After omnipotence, Himawari was worried about Boruto and sought advice from Sarada, who was taking his side. However, because Sarada was in this situation, as I previously described, within the current Konoha, the 3 members of Inojin became concerned about Himawari and urged her to distance herself from Sarada. Gradually, Himawari began spending more time with Team 10, and in order to become a source of strength for Boruto, she began shinobi training alongside Team 10. So this is quite intriguing. A lot of people had to believe that, oh, why was Himawari not taken by the Hyuga clan? Why did this not take place? Why she trained with Inojin? So I believe that quite early on, because it is said that Himawari still has this feeling as if there is some sort of misunderstanding, that Boruto is not actually the enemy, that her parents are still alive. So due to that simple fact, she gravitated towards a person like Sarada, who ended up having the same beliefs as Himawari, and just by hearing the things that Sarada was saying, it was giving conviction to Himawari, and probably she could have potentially been even trained by Himawari. But seeing what is currently going on, it really shows how ostracized Sarada must have been. We see Inojin Team 10 simply treat Sarada as if she's a lunatic, and potentially due to things that may have happened, her potentially being stripped away of her rights as a Chunin and back to a Genin due to the things she must have said and done, it makes quite a bit of sense that we see a Team 10 that comes to try and protect Himawari, especially due to the mental turmoil that is happening. If they view Sarada as this lunatic, it makes quite a bit of sense that they end up trying to save Himawari from even interacting with her. But Sarada suffered quite a bit. I'm just thinking about it. It reminds me a bit of Naruto, I'm not even gonna lie. And her having to go to be Hokage, something that is definitely quite intriguing, especially due to the similar obstacles that she must have felt. So when she does become Hokage, she would not act in the ways that others did to her. She would be a source of light in the darkness. The next question is about Inojin, and it says, Around when did Inojin start to like Himawari? The answer Ikemoto gives us is he only started becoming conscious of her recently, likely because they began to spend more time together through training and missions. Himawari is capable enough to handle all the household matters by herself and has an independent mindset, so she gives those around her an impression of being more mature than her actual age. Inojin first came to admire those qualities in her, and then that admiration gradually developed into romantic feelings. So in the information that was released, we do also get extra information about Himawari's age, and Himawari is actually 12 years old and Inojin is 15. So say with that as you will. I will not be commenting further because any answer I give could be used against me in court. However, it is a very intriguing dynamic that they have, and it just lets us know the type of things that was going on. We do still hear about the fact that they had missions together, so it just lets us know that Himawari slowly was integrated in the team, which is why their tactics are a lot better together. They work well in a cohesive group. So Himawari is basically a member of Team 10 at that point. And just as we know in the past, we had Shikadai that became a Chunin. It makes quite a bit of sense while they're able to go on missions. I wonder if the same applied to Sarada. Was she able to go on missions too? Was her location locked? I wonder what she personally went through when it comes to her personal missions throughout the leaf. Now the last question that we have is this: how is the physique of Shinju determined? Is it related to the physique of the human it originates from? The answer that Ikemoto ends up giving us is basically they end up roughly the same size as the human they originated from. However, some Cloudgrams are larger individuals and they may end up bigger than their original human. This is what we end up getting. So just some cool information that Ikemoto ends up releasing. We also have information about the personal hobbies and the interests of every character. I'll make sure to go through everything we do get, as you know that we're in a drought right now. So I know that all of you guys are curious to know the information that we do get. We get a lot of information revealed based on ages that these characters have and their personal hobbies. So when it comes to Ada, this is what we hear: a beautiful woman who presides over omnipotence, a modified human who possesses the Sharingan, which allows her to see events across vast distances, and the Senjutsu omnipotence, which manifests all desires. She manifested the desire of Kawaki, for whom she had feelings for, causing the great change. And her character profile: she is 19 years old, she's born on June 20th, and it shows the various foods that she likes. I can't pronounce most of it, so I'll let you guys read it for yourself. We have Damon. Damon is the knight who protects Ada. Damon is Ada's younger brother. While Damon's palm is touching another person, he reflects all actions intended to cause harm. He is actually 13 years old. That's pretty interesting. Then we have Code. Code is the one who inherited the Otsutsuki will. He inherited Ishiki Otsutsuki's will and pursues Boruto and Kawaki. He is 18 years old. Then we have Amado, the scientist pursuing Senjutsu. A former scientist of Kara, he researches Senjutsu in order to revive his daughter. He is currently affiliated with Konoha, and he is 59 years old. Do you know how important this piece of information is? Is because Ada is actually 19 years old, so she can only see 19 years of Amado's life. She can't see anywhere less than that. So when Amado is 40 and below, whatever work that he was researching about, nothing about that research Ada will be able to know about. So when Ada told us that she checked the background of Amado, it was only up to the age of 40, and 40 years is missing from all that information. Just something to point out now that we have their ages. The next person is Mitsuki. Mitsuki is a clone who wields the power of the Great Snakes. A clone created by Orochimaru, one of the legendary 3 ninja, a member of Team 7 alongside Kawaki and Sarada. He is also 15 and he's born on July 25th. This is pretty interesting because they say the power of the Great Snakes. I really hope that we finally get this Mitsuki lore and we dive deep on all the abilities that he may have. I really think it's important for us to get more Mitsuki. That's the only guy who I really feel bad for. We need that Mitsuki lore, that Mitsuki power up. It needs to come soon and as fast as possible. The next person is Sumire. the former class representative who watches over the shinobi, one of those unaffected by the memory alteration of the Great Change. A former classmate of Boruto and the others, she currently works as a model's assistant in the science team, conducting research on scientific ninja tools and related technology. She is also 15 and she is born on the 12th of July. Next is Chocho. Chocho is a young shinobi brimming with energy. Choji Akimichi's daughter, she handles both offense and defense with the expansive jutsu, which enlarges her body. Cheerful and has positive energy, she seems particularly concerned about Himawari, who has been separated with her parents. So I feel like Chocho may be this parental figure to Himawari, and really just like put Himawari's whole thing on her mantle, especially because she is a woman and thus could help Himawari out more than the other guys in the team. Himawari, the new partner of Kurama, Naruto Uzumaki's daughter. Several years after Kurama's disappearance from Naruto, a factor emerged within Himawari. She has formed a cooperative relationship with Kurama and is working hard at special training. She is 12 years old and she is born on July 20th. Next is Sarada. Sarada, a descendant of the Uchiha who can see the truth clearly. One of those unaffected by the great memory alteration, the Great Change, her feelings for Boruto awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan. She gained the power of Orihime, which manipulates gravity. She is 15 and she is born on March 31st. We have Kawaki, the Hokage's son, who will destroy the Otsutsuki's. His position was reversed with Boruto, making him the Hokage's son. He possesses a Karama, the inherited power of Ishiki Otsutsuki, and fights using two Senjutsu. He is 17 years old and he is born on May 13th. Next we have Inojin, a challenger who sets his heart ablaze, the son of Ino Yamanaka and Sai. Based on the Yamanaka clan's mind transferring jutsu, he develops his own mind transferring formation jutsu. He has romantic feelings for Himawari. He is 15 years old and he is born on December 5th. So Inojin is actually only like 2 years and a couple months older than Himawari. So it's actually not that bad. It's not bad at all. He is safe, so we can still mess with Inojin. Everything's cool. I was kind of confused at first, but yeah, he's good. Let me know if you think he's good in the comments. The next is Shikadai, the Shadow Support, the son of Shikamaru Nara and a member of Team 10. He is proficient in the Nara clan's secret shadow-based ninjutsu. He is 15 years old and he is born on September 23rd. And finally, we have Boruto, the One-Eyed Rebel. Hey, that's a cold nickname, the One-Eyed Rebel, who bears the weight of fate, a shinobi who, due to the Great Change, had his position reversed with Kawaki and is now pursued by Konoha. After about 3 years of training, he proposes cooperating with Konoha's shinobi to defeat the Divine Tree. He is 15 years old, born on March 27th. And just one of the hobbies I wanted to read out, his hobbies is meditation and making accessories for the Flying Raijin. So he's the one who made all his accessories, and meditation is intriguing. Like, he got to go through some sort of spiritual cleansing because of all the bad things that have happened to him. So this is a very interesting interview from Ikemoto. I'm really happy with all the information that was released. Let me know what's your favorite thing that we learned from the interview in the comment section below. And if you missed the previous interview that Ikemoto made, make sure to watch this video right here.